channels. I'm going to limit that pretty soon. This also gives me the ability to stream privately. So we will be able to have some private conversations as time moves forward. So, all right. Oh, family. Woke up with a serious case of heartburn this morning. Don't know what the hell going on. I know that I'm healthy. Now, so we're going to do the toast this morning, but I have to go and address some issues real quick. Here we go. All right, we up on. So how does this damn thing get up on my Facebook page first? God damn it! All right. See, this type of stuff that bothers me, right? And I mean, it's like it's technology. When technology works, it's beautiful. When it don't, it's horrible, right? So it streams straight to Hot Tim Gye-Nyame, but it don't go to Gye-Nyame Journey first. So once again, I got to apologize to the Gye-Nyame Journey family, those people that's been getting up every morning to check me out. My daily toasters, once again, so I'm going to have to go on and either I might end up dropping this shit, just going back to streaming on one channel, because this don't make no sense. But then again, it do make sense. But all right, what I need to talk about this morning is family, and once again, people gonna get pissed. But hell, what the fuck, right? You only live once. You only got one life to live. You know what I'm saying? So let me do this. I need to go to my Hootsuite, and I'm gonna post up on my Hootsuite for those that are in that space. Check me out. Check me out on Spreaker.com/Hot Tim. I'm gonna have to get the iOS because a lot of people use the iOS, and so I don't understand this shit. I really don't, and it's really starting to irritate me. So maybe if I turn it off and turn it on, because it don't. Let me turn it off. See what happens. Turn it back on. Then I'm gonna turn it back on, see what happens. All right. So now there's this thing called the stages of grief, and I was thinking about it because I went to go see my uncle yesterday, and I heard somebody else mention it, and one thing about the stages of grief is that it mimics, or I ain't gonna say it mimics, but the stages of consciousness are very, very similar. And let me explain to you what I mean. Okay, cool. Good to see you, brother Kwame. Oh man, it was cool. But the stages, don't get used to checking me out on my Facebook page, man, because I'm going to take that shit off. You know what I'm saying? Because we got, but what I want to talk about was the stages of consciousness, at least that I went through from my experience. And of course, this is going to piss some people off because a quick story. My name is Hot Tim. I'm known as Hot Tim. And Hot Tim is not an African name. They say it's from North Africa, more of the Arab Peninsula. So my brothers in conscious name, I got names like Heru and Sapet and Kwame and Nomo and elders like Mariba, you know what I'm saying, and names like that. My name is Hatim, and my name is Hatim because during my journey, I ran into a group of brothers that at that point in time, at the level I was, I agreed with the doctrine. I agreed with what they was teaching. I agreed with what I heard. So I went through a process with them. But while I was at that place, while I was in that time, I still was around my elder Nomo, my elder Dr. Kelsey, and I was still going to the African Center every now and then, and they never looked down on me. You know what I'm saying? They would hear what I had to say, and they would send my ass back with questions, because some of the shit that I was being told did not align with African history, did not align with history, period. And they sent me back with questions. They allowed me to go through my stages. They allowed me to go through and become who I was to become. They didn't get upset with me, at least not that I knew of. And they allowed me to be. Later on in my career, I got my heart broke. My heart broke for real for the first time. I might have been about 23 years old, maybe 24 years old. And I did something, and somehow Nomo came up on campus. And I was depressed. I told Nomo, I said, man, I'm thinking about joining the Navy. Nomo looked at me and said, that's cool. Just know that when your ass walk across that stage that I'm going to snipe you. I couldn't do nothing but laugh, but he brought me up out my depression. But he accepted where I was. He didn't judge me. He asked me if I needed any help, if I needed anybody to talk to. And he allowed me to go through my phase. And there's a whole bunch of other stories that I have about my process, about my experience, about people being involved with me, allowing me to be who I was, and not necessarily turning back, but allowing me to go and do me. Dr. Kelsey allowed me to go do me several times, and allowed me to come back home. And so when people listen in and be like, well, brother, I tell them, why you be letting motherfuckers run your show and blah, blah, blah. Understand, I'm allowing people the same attitude that I have. I've always been, in a sense, outspoken. I've always been the first one that would break up a whole situation because I was the one that would, in a sense, start cussing. I would possibly maybe be the loudest, and people allow me to go through my process. And I think that I benefit a lot of people around me. So what I want to go through is the stages of consciousness. I'm sorry. I want to go through the stages of consciousness, and of course it's based on a model called the grief model. It's the stages of grief, right? I just add one more stage. So the first stage, of course, is denial. You know what I'm saying? Because when you first get this information, because it usually, for me, I'm going to speak for me. I can't speak for everybody else. For me, it was a moment. I don't even remember the moment, but it was a moment. It was a single moment when the whole goddamn world changed for me. And at that point in time, I had been reading, up until that point in time, I was reading a lot of Bible. I was reading the Bible a whole lot. And, I remember in Ecclesiastics, where I think it's Ecclesiastics. Oh, and I know Kwame probably, somebody in there probably know, but Solomon talks about the woes of knowing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for me, it happened in a moment. In a moment, right? In a moment, my world changed because somebody hit me with something at the right angle, and I went into a denial. But in that moment, the shit was just so clear and it was so real. Matter of fact, I do know the moment for me. The moment for me was that my mom had moved to Columbus, and she got a new car. I think it was her Camry when she first got it was an old Camry or whatever. It wasn't old then, but she came back, and I found a tape on the ground, a steel post. See, and I put it in, and they start singing about some shit, and I was like, I was blown away. And then I heard Rakim. And Rakim said, when he said, "I'm God," I mean, in that moment, I was like, nah, this shit can't be. I was in denial. I'm like, this shit can't. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing these people sing about history that I didn't even know was really there. I mean, I had little clips, but I didn't know that it was really there. And I didn't even know that you could put it in song form. Then I hear a brother about my age talking about he God. And I'm like, where does he get the right and the confidence? I can't be mad. And the confidence to say this. So I was in denial, you know what I'm saying? And that's the first phase, denial. You deny the information that's coming to you, but then all of a sudden the shit just once it hits you, right? Once it hits you, you cannot not see what the fuck is going on. It's like all around you, things start to look different. Information starts to come. And that moves you into the phase that I added. This is the shock phase, where it's like you start seeing shit that wasn't there before. You start hearing shit in conversations that you didn't hear before. When you sitting in church, you listening to stuff in a totally different way. When you pick up the Bible, you read it in a totally different way. And then out of the blue, you got new books that's taking the place of the Bible. Back in the day when we had to read books and wasn't no YouTube. So I couldn't watch a motherfucker talk to me about history. I had to read the shit. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see. The burden of knowing, yet even understanding is a weight sometimes too heavy to bear. In reading, family. You know what I'm saying? And in that phase, you know what I'm saying? It's like in that shock phase, it's like you're open. You're open, right? And it's like all this stuff come. But this is a phase where some people get stuck. Anger. Because after you start reading and you start seeing where your people fell from, what your people fell into, unimaginable anger comes over you. And it affects different people in different ways. And like I said, these are all phases, and some people get stuck. You got some people stuck in a denial phase. You got some people that get stuck in the shock phase. You get some people that get stuck in the anger phase, and you just mad. And when you hear people saying shit that's not real, you feel you have to address that shit right then, right now. You feel that you have to go and crush that and destroy it because that shit is not true, and you are going to be the solution to the problem. They should have never woke you up. They should have let you stay asleep. So you mad, right? You angry, and you're supposed to be. And this is the phases. This is why a process is important. I ran into people that was able to walk me through my shit, walk me through it, accept it. Go on, boom, 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 anger. A lot of people in our circle. Motherfucker, you got some motherfuckers that they don't even laugh. You know what I'm saying? I had to, and then what's dangerous is when you get a bunch of angry motherfuckers that get together and they find ways to keep motherfuckers angry. They just find everything to, you know what I'm saying? You get some people that get caught in this because they start getting into the conspiracies, and that pissed them off even more. So they go dig more and they find some more conspiracies, and they even get madder, and then they find some other shit and they get even madder. And family, this shit is real. You probably, hopefully you're laughing about this shit, but please recognize this shit is real. You got motherfuckers that have been in the angry phase for 30 years. I've been involved in this shit for over 30 years. You have motherfuckers that's been stuck at the anger phase longer than I've been involved in the movement. And some of them longer than I've been alive. Just being honest. It's a phase. You can't win. You can't win from an angry position. You can't. You can't win from mad. Listen, here's the chart. This is why I tell my, look, this is why I be bringing this up. Mad, sad, or scared. How you feel? Right? How you feel? You know what I'm saying? Because sometime in this mad piece, because now, Brother Wakesa broke down for me that in this mad piece, right, what I understood, in this mad piece, people equate this with having power. You know what I'm saying? I got power. I could yell. I can address any issue that I want when I want. You know what I'm saying? We cling on this shit, right? There's absolutely no flexibility whatsoever coming from the most flexible motherfuckers on the planet. I don't understand. When you look at Africa, we are the most flexible. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, we didn't burn witches in Africa. We accepted them motherfuckers. We didn't chase out. We didn't turn motherfuckers into the evilest motherfuckers on the planet. We put these motherfuckers in the pantheon. We come from the most flexible people on the planet. And I'm dealing with a bunch of conscious people that are totally inflexible. I don't understand it. Maybe on the planet where they dwell. But if you look at history for real, goddamn, we ended up in the situation we are now because we were flexible. And we survived this motherfucking situation, and we will survive this situation because we flexible. We have been, but you don't see that when you're mad. You can't see. You know what I'm saying? Because the logic is clogged up, and the logic just moved. You know what I'm saying? It's not moving. It's not spiraling. You know what I'm saying? Logic don't see. You can't see it like that right now. But then, from the anger phase, if you make it out the anger phase, you get into the bargaining phase. Because this shit can't be, damn, I'm running into a lot of shit. And you start finding ways to bargain. Or you try to. You know what I'm saying? How can I make this shit work in my life? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't be running around this motherfucking mad. And, so you start bargaining with this shit. You know what I'm saying? And some people get caught in this phase. You know what I'm saying? I wear dashikis, and I pick up on the latest African fashions and shit. And I support the vendors, and I'll bargain my way through this shit or out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm conscious, but I'm, I got to make a living and blah, blah, blah. Right? Then this is where you lose a lot of people. When you go through the depression, when the fact of the matter is that you can't kente cloth this shit over. You can't African garb this shit over. You can't read yourself up out this shit. This is a real reality. You're living in an alien world. You're living in a matrix, right? That wasn't designed for you. And in order for you to make it right for your kids, you're going to have to struggle. And you have to struggle hard. And you may die without any recognition like the millions that came before you, because you wasn't the first one that came into the light of this information, and you won't be the last. Depression sets in. And a lot of times some of this shit cycles back in, because sometimes we cycle in. You know what I'm saying? Depression. And after the depression comes acceptance. for who you are, what you are, where you are, and when you are. You know what I'm saying? Because through the bargaining and the anger, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you wish you was in a different place in a different time. If I was back then with Marcus Garvey, it would have never failed. If I was with Malcolm X, I would have took the bullet. I would have stood up and caught that bullet for Martin Luther King too. I should have been in Shaka's army. You know what I'm saying? You want to be everywhere. But at the last phase, you start accepting where you are. Where you are. Right? I had to say, hi Tim in Columbus, Ohio. Ain't no cameras. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no books being written about this time, unless you get up and do it. All right? Shit ain't gonna just happen. You gotta get up, make it happen. You accept that. You know? And some of us get caught up in the other parts. The denial, shock, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. You know, and I'm gonna leave that there, family. You know, and find out where you are. See, because a lot of times we run into issues, just like in Gye-Nyame or any other organization, where motherfuckers don't know where they are. You know what I'm saying? You mess up your life because you don't know what phase of your life you're in. You know what I'm saying? You mess up an organization because you don't know where you are in your place there. You know what I'm saying? And accept where you are. So that when you accept where you are, it makes it possible for you to move forward. Because if you're caught in those other phases, it's dangerous for any organization to trust you with information, to move you into its ranks. I'm just being honest. Because listen, and let me say this: those of you that want to come into this, or that may be in this, and you're caught on certain ways of doing things, and you're caught on the words of Barack Obama, this whole transparency shit, go join the NAACP. Or, there's other organizations that, there's other shit that you could do that have a lot of the transparency, have a lot of the policies and procedures that you need, right? Because, we coming through a history of organization where niggas was on trial for their life. You know what I'm saying? And have forgiveness enough to come back out in the community and possibly work with some of the people who informed on them. See, a lot of y'all that's just, a lot of y'all that stayed in the books, you know what I'm saying, that's still in the shock phase of the struggle, right? This is why you need to talk with your elders, right? Because y'all read about COINTEL when there are people who actually experienced and felt that shit, and they will be very clear with you and get you to understand why sometimes you gotta watch.
Turn off the alarm.
I don't have an alarm. I don't got the damn alarm. Get up, turn off the real live here, Gye-Nyame Journey. Where's it at?
I don't know.
Find it. All right, family, but y'all, you get me, right? Y'all get me. So, all right, let's do this. I'm sorry. We ain't gonna do the music today. I'm sorry, Kwame. I start running my mouth, man. Cause especially after trading one form of bondage to embrace another form, we have been through a lot, and now our eyes are truly open. You are telling the truth. If it's ands and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. I'm just saying, family. Kwame been okay. He said the burden of knowledge. You can't win, you can't even, you can't get even, and you can't get out of the game. You see what I'm saying? And it's like but you understand. You understand where I'm coming from, Kwame. And it's just like I need people to understand that I deal with people in a way that, in the sense, I was dealt with. So I have a lot of leeway. when I'm dealing with folks, when I'm dealing with family, right? And because I understand, because I've been there, and I try to recognize the steps, and I try to recognize when I'm cycling back through, because just like with rites of passage, a lot of people think that it was just about the teenage piece. But as I started doing my research, I started understanding it was a lifelong thing. It was a cycle that you went back through over and over and over again. It never stops. And some of us honestly believe that that after the initiation is over, after I go through this cycle, it's over. No, you go right back through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to learn some new shit. And when you stop going through it, you dead. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. This is why it's important that you accept where you are. You know what I'm saying? Accept that the information that you have is very limited. The information I have is very limited. There is an ocean of information out here, and I don't have a drop. I don't have a whole drop of it yet. Let people be who they are and believe them to be who they are. But do allow them to change and grow. Right? You know, and like I said, sometimes some of our anger, it chases people away from what the fuck we talking about. And that don't make no sense. And we be infighting and doing all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because we have not recognized where we are in our cycle. And we have not recognized where we are in the family. You know what I'm saying? You don't walk in the door. You can't walk in the door and be captain. You know what I'm saying? You don't walk. This ain't the movie Star Trek where motherfucker you could cheat the hologram and become Captain Kirk. I mean, this shit don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of shit that people come and talk about they trying, you always got to take into account that when people be talking about we need to do black entrepreneurship, we did that shit. Do your research. Do your history. How the fuck you think we made it up out of slavery? Entrepreneurship, we did that shit. We need to build our own time. We did that shit. We did it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, and it's like, yo, so you know, people be bringing shit like it's new. Like it's new. We done did all that shit. Non-profits, we done did that shit. That was the phase that we were. That's the phase that I come out of. We did that shit. If it was about grants and shit, we would have been free. Politics, we did that shit. Right? And the only thing I'm saying is I'm maintaining faith and trust in the destiny of my people. And I'm going to continue working. And I'm like, boom, whatever we do is going to have to be multi-pronged because they constantly attack us on many stages. So you can't do economics without politics. And you can't do politics without the social work. And you can't do the social work without making sure you have a family. That's why I talk about tribe. This is why I talk about family. This is why you know what I'm saying? You can't do, we got to build our shit all at once. We in the middle of the ocean, we got to build a motherfucking ark. We missed the period to build the shit. Now we got to build it with the shit that's floating by. But a lot of y'all don't recognize that you sitting in the ocean, possibly about to drown. Y'all want to argue. Help me grab this goddamn wood and build this raft so I can get my kids up on this motherfucker. So you get your kids up on it. Stop being so goddamn selfish. Shit is crazy. All right, family. Let me go and drink my water and do this toast. I gotta drink the water first. That's part of the ritual. I'm sorry. Shouts out to Patar Ra. Trading one form. Okay, I didn't know that was you, bro. Trading one form of bondage to embrace another form. We have been through a lot, and now our eyes are truly open. You are, oh man, and it's like, yo, it's crazy out here, family. But it's even crazier when you by yourself. All right. I'm about to hit this toast. I'm already running late. Look at this shit. Clay.
Yeah.
You look at the time, brother. You can't be basing it on me. I'm in my emotions right now. Let me see. I am scared. Right? I ain't scared. And I'm not scared to admit that shit. I recognize the danger. I've already asked for help. And I'm a little sad. Because there's some losses. There's going to be some losses. Sad. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Because I haven't been violated. You understand what I'm saying? See, and when Kwame bring that shit up, nobody listens to him. Kwame says, listen, use the stuff that Wakesa gave us. I mean, that shit is gold. I mean, it's platinum. It's diamonds. And it will help you work through a lot of the shit that you think is really offending you. You really got to start asking the questions. But no. And this is what bothers me about, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we'll do classes. We'll do the hairstyles. We wear the clothes. And shit don't stick. I don't understand. How is that? How could you sit through this shit and get the keys that this, I mean, with the actual things and with the actual, how could you sit through this and not get it? And at least get how it can help you and at least try that shit. At least when we're trying to build some shit that will last. I mean, we supposed to be building for eternity. Isn't that what we supposed to be doing? We supposed to be building for eternity, and I got niggas falling out about bullshit. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm building for my kids. I ain't got time for that. Really, I don't. I'm building for my kids. When you see me wearing the t-shirts and you see me putting the books together and you see me doing shows where it appears that I'm talking to myself, I'm leaving a legacy for my children. All the other shit, as Sister Navita say, can kiss my ass. Just being honest. All that other shit, all you with all your feelings getting caught up and shit like that, can kiss my ass. Just being honest, family. This don't make no sense. We grown folk. At least I thought. We bring people here that drops great information and we miss it. We miss it. But hey, I'm going to keep on being me. You keep on being you. My fault, I'm going to grow when I get an opportunity. I'm just waiting for my roots to go a little bit deeper. Let's do this quick toast, family. I apologize for no song. I apologize. I gotta get up here and get my girls up. Yeah. Uh-oh. We about to see. Let people be who. Brother Batara say, drink the water. Let's get up here into the stove. First, we give honor to the creator by the name you choose to call the creator. And I'm sorry for holding y'all up, family. You know, after yesterday and yesterday events, and then going to dealing with what I had to deal with, you know, my life experience make the so-called problems we all face seem like thus I don't get too moved from our Gye-Nyame goals. Let's get it. That's what I'm saying. Family, here we go. We toast creator about whatever name you choose to call that creator. We call that great energy, that great power into our lives, into our homes, into our minds, into wherever you are. We lift up our glass and we say Ashe, even though we know the creator is already there. Now we move to our list that we have been compiling. from all of our folks, from all of our families, right? Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Texana Davis, Herman Brownstein, Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Christopher Fanny Gaston, Aunt Nina, Uncle Chris, Aunt Finn, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Toppin, John Fallar, Martha Q. Pittman L, Norma X, Pet Mile Ra, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Algeny, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro Ector Jr., J. Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulley, the Luxor Brothers, Miss Edith Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Jen Foster, Charles Jordan, Kill Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Anna Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Rinderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Carolyn D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Hodge, Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Barry Beatty, Sarah Weatherby, the farmer, Augusta Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Dolly Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thorne, Pearl G. Thorne, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Eka Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, May Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Milton Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hedda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kenty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quills, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quills, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W.S. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinez, Elder Amatet Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Ellen Ohio, Frank and Russell Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Bina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. Now we move to the book, family. The Friedrich Hines, Inez Bostic, and the Bostic, Winifred Scandalberry, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensabaugh, Hazel Gadsden, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parson, Jason Cathy, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irvin, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Miriam Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie Marvin Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans. Yeah. June Evans. Sister Cynthia, I'm gonna call you. You're gonna tell me how to say that name. Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Couture, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwilyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Kate, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Jennifer Baker, Aaron Nino, Baby Hatch, had Senior Melly Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Dorita Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Manny, Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Coper, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Frances, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford, Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Elvis Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlington Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Statton, Joe Jamel Alls. Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bat Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey and Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Ballas, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Irving, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Urban Sr., Michael Urban, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Jabea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Lyndon Howard, Mazarine Coper, George Swan, Edmonia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael and Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Ann Ferguson, William Ferguson. We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, we move to the present moment. And right now, today, just moving real quick, we're moving through. We are on Umoja. For those that don't speak the language, today is the day of unity. The Maotic principle of the day is truth. The color is violet. Mentalism is the hermetic law of the day. If you were born on this day and you are male, the day name is Kwojo, female, Ajua, right? The 7 EEC principles from the African Center Cultural Virtue and Value System from the Emotional Emancipation Circle. Let's say that. We are on Wolof, and Wolof today we're on Taranga, Sense of Hospitality, Inakan Ethics, Truth, and Traditional Yoruba, Suru, Patience. We already went through those emotions. So let's get it. We move on. We lift up our glass. We toast our children, our children's children. What's up? Is that Joe Barry? What's up? All right. Stay with me because I'm gonna let you know when I got these bottles available. Age of night. Okay. Where was we at? Our children's children. We toast all of them. You know what I'm saying? We toast our children into infinity, basically, family. We are responsible. So we got to work in it now so that we make sure that they got something to come to, right? So we lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, I almost slipped back into what I was talking about before. All right. From there, we move to all of our relation. We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, family, last. This ain't last, but we do that selfish libation. What is it? That selfish toast. What is it that you need? What is it? All right? It's on you. All right? Call what you want. And we say Ashe. From there, family, I salute the most powerful being in the room. You know who that is? That's you. I want to thank you for joining me for this morning toast. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you got something. Because I try to bring value to people's lives. I don't want to just be wasting your time. Check 1, 2. Why my mic so damn low? All right, but anyway, y'all know I cuss. I'm sorry. I'd like to wish you peace, power, and joy in 100 years. And with that, we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And I'm running late. I still got to iron clothes and shit. About to go out here and get this day started. But family, it was a pleasure seeing you this morning. I lift my glass and I toast you. Now enjoy this while it's on my Facebook page. I don't know why it's not doing the Gye-Nyame journey. And I'm really, 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 really sad. And they're going to have to explain this to me. They're going to have to explain this to me. Because I don't understand at all. Wrong keyframe interval. Once again, we with that there. Right? Wrong keyframe interval. Whatever. All right. So I'm out. Peace.